TV, heard their voices on radio, but I think it's human nature to be curious about what people are into and what they're really like behind the scenes. Our next guest is a very familiar face here on Great Day Live, and it's been gracing our televisions and radios for years. I'm so happy to welcome the amazing Tony Vanetti. Hi, Tony.
Hello. How are you? So excited.
Yes. Okay. So, Tony, I'm going to put you in the hot seat. I got a lot of questions. You ready to roll?
Let's go.
Okay. Question number one. When you were little, what did you want to be when you grew up?
I wanted to be a history teacher and a football coach. I had a lot of influences. My dad was a football coach. My families were very involved with the Catholic system, like in the school and all that. So I kind of grew up in that environment. So I wanted, even though I was a terrible student, but history was my favorite subject. And I thought, I might want to be a history teacher and a football coach. Seemed like a good life.
I would imagine that in school, you had a lot of time not talking to your fellow classmates. That would be my guess.
I was attention deficit disorder to the height. You know me well enough to know that's true. I've never taken medication for it. They didn't have medication, I don't think, for it back then. So yes, I was always in trouble because I was always speaking out of turn.
Right, and making people laugh at the same time.
That's right.
Okay, speaking of laughing, what is the funniest, most embarrassing, or awkward thing that's ever happened to you on live TV?
Okay. I did a great day. I'm sorry. Good Morning Kentuckiana hit, 15, 20 years ago. And it was at an art place down on Market Street. And when I get there, we're supposed to talk about this specific piece of art. And the art is ceramic donuts, right? And on the donuts are pictures of you know what, and the donuts spell out something that's kind of vulgar. So I'm like, oh my gosh! I call Rachel Pratt. She's back in the studio, and I go, Rachel, we can't shoot this. There's nothing here we can shoot. She was like, we're there today. You've got to figure it out. So we had to shoot it far enough away you couldn't see the donuts, and you couldn't see what it spelled out either. So we were very careful to kind of pin it into an area to do the entire thing. The guy I was interviewing he never thought anything about it, but it was crazy. And I was like, oh my gosh, I hope they can't see these donuts.
I'm proud of you for realizing beforehand of like what was going on behind you. That's good right there.
Oh my gosh. I was just like, Rachel, we can't do that. She was like, figure it out. And I was like, okay.
Okay. So who have you gotten to interview that you geeked out over the most?
I've interviewed so many for television or radio. It's really weird. When I first got into rock radio, I was like 20. And one of the first interviews I did when I was 20 years old was I was working Saturday afternoon, and Foreigner with Lou Gramm and Doobie Brothers came in. They both came in to play together on the air at my station at WQMF in the middle of the day. So they brought their instruments and keyboards, and we plugged it up through the door. And so Lou Gramm and Foreigner played their hits like Cold as Ice and all their hits. And then when Doobie Brothers turned, I turned right, and there's the whole Doobie Brothers, the whole band. And they're playing Taking It to the Streets, China Grove, and they're playing. And then Lou Gramm was singing the harmonies for Doobie Brothers. And I was thinking at 20 years old, okay, this is kind of a cool job.
Yeah, your own like private double concert. That is amazing. Okay, if you could pick a dream interview with anyone in the world, who would it be?
Alive or dead?
Either one, no rules.
Oh man, come on! That's
okay. Alive. That's
alive. Okay. You know what? We've been talking. I think Ryan Reynolds is the coolest person on earth, right? At this point, I kind of want to just have a drink of beer or whatever. He sells tequila now or something like that. But he just seems like the genuine person. And if I could interview and just kind of hang out in his bar, it would be Ryan Reynolds.
You never cease to amaze me, Tony. Okay, what is one misconception that people often have about you?
Oh my gosh. There's so many. But here's the problem, Joann. I come from a rock radio, and there's a whole segment of Louisvillians that know me from that. I did sports radio for 12 years. I still do a little bit of that. There's a whole segment of Louisvillians that know me from that, and there's a whole segment that know me from WHS television, and there's a whole segment that know me from WHS radio, and there's a whole segment that knows me from coaching. It is, when I see people, they're like, "Oh, you're the QMF guy. You're the rock guy," and I'm like, "Well, I haven't done that in 15 years, but yes."
Right. I would say one misconception is that people might think that you like never stop talking. Do you have your quiet moments, Tony Vanetti?
No.
Okay, I love that.
I don't. My wife's the same way. She's high energy. I'm Italian and Cuban, so I come from two sides of Cuban and Italian families that are always blah, 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 all the time. So that's where I get it. It's all flowing through my veins.
Never stops. Okay, what is your comfort show or movie that you could watch endlessly without ever getting tired of it?
Oh my gosh. You know what? I hate. I don't want to do the basic. I want to be a basic dude. I want to say Parks and Rec. I want to say those, right? And then I'm just gonna be that. I hate people that have the Parks and Rec T-shirt. I'm like, I don't want to be like that. It's like Baron. It's wearing the Pearl Jam T-shirt to the Pearl Jam concert. I don't want to do that. We've sunk into streaming and Netflix, and they have a different show every single day. But if I could watch. Okay, here's one.
Okay.
Antiques Roadshow. I have a little bit of an addiction to Antiques Roadshow. If it's on and I pop it on, I'm done for the hour.
You're done. You're taken away.
I'm done.
Okay. Okay, Tony, what is your favorite like pig out meal that you just like your favorite, your jam?
Oh my God. I'm a cheeseburger guy. I love cheeseburgers, and they can be any type, right? You can throw anything on top of that. I love cheeseburgers. I hate the fact that gourmet cheeseburgers now are like $50. If you go to you go to restaurants now and you're like, you get a couple of cheeseburgers for the family, and the guy goes, yeah, $67. And you're like, well, I'm getting cheeseburgers. But it's like, when did this happen? But I'm a cheeseburger guy. I'm a beef guy. I love beef. I've been a paleo guy. I did that really religiously for like 6 years, and I got back off a little bit because I love my pancakes. But cheeseburgers are my guy.
Okay. Okay. When it comes to books, fiction or nonfiction, do you prefer?
Audio books.
That counts. Audiobooks do count. They really do. I'd be like, I read this book. And I'm like, well, if I didn't technically read it, I'm like, it's still, you're taking it in.
Here's my problem. I love books, but the problem is I have that attention deficit deal, and you can tell by this entire segment. But I read and I get to the bottom of the page and I go, I'm thinking about something else. I got to go back to the top of the page. So audiobooks have saved my life. I love just getting in the car or getting putting the earbuds in and walking and just having the audiobooks roll.
I feel the same way. And it's really cool when the author is actually reading it themselves, because you get to kind of like, take that all in. It's their story. Okay, Tony, for anyone who wants to follow you on all your endless adventures, where's the best place to do that?
At Tony Vanetti at Twitter, and then just Facebook also. But at Tony Vanetti is the best. That's where I kind of leave. I don't do politics on Twitter. I do sports and fun and all that. And then Facebook is family stuff, basically.
Thank you, Tony, so much for giving us a little glimpse into your life behind the scenes.
I'm sorry that you had to crawl in my head for the last couple of minutes. I know it's frantic.